I think I've put together the ultimate travel kit, and I'll take a minute to explain why. Way back in 2007, I went backpacking around Malaysia and I took a lot of stuff with me. I took a Canon 350D, which was my first camera. I took a 70-200 f2.8, a 17-40 f4, and a 50mm f1.4. I think I wanted to make sure I had all the bases covered, and it was about 2,300 pounds of gear and probably all of it weighed 4 or 5 kilos. My hostel room got burgled and everything got nicked apart from the 70-200. The only part of this experience I actually liked was not having to carry all that around afterwards. But I did see some wild stuff before it all got stolen. Also, while looking through the archives for this trip, I found this picture of these two women, and you'll never guess what they tried to do. They tried to rob me. Since that time, whenever I've been away, I've tried to take away as little as possible. Yes, for security reasons, but also because I couldn't be bothered carrying that much anymore. One of the best travel kits for quality that I put together was a trip to Cuba in 2011. It was a 5D Mark II, a 50L 1.2, and a 24L 1.4. So I was super happy with the pictures I got from this set, but it was still about 4,000 pounds of gear, and it was about 3 kilos on my shoulder, which was still annoying. So the next camera I tried taking away with me was the Fuji X100T, and people are nuts about these cameras now. It's about as compact as it gets, it'll literally fit in your pocket, it weighs about 430 grams, and it's got an f2 35mm equivalent lens on it. This little camera went on a bunch of holidays with me. It went with me to Budapest, it went with me to Cordoba, and it went with me to Madrid. The downside to the Fuji was that although it was a great little camera, it wasn't as responsive as I was used to, and the files needed a lot of work in post-production before I started to like the look of them. So while it literally fits in your pocket and cost about £1,000 and weighs next to nothing, I didn't really enjoy the experience of using it that much. So at this point, I'm still on the lookout for a camera that doesn't cost too much, doesn't weigh too much, and creates pictures that I like. Now here's the best travel kit that I've come up with so far. Firstly, it's a Canon R6. It's second-hand for about £1,200 now. It has genuinely great RAW files and the autofocus is super quick. And it weighs about 680 grams. And as for the lenses, it's these two. The 60mm f2.8 RF and the 50mm f1.8 RF. They're both absolutely tiny, they weigh about 160 grams and you can get either of them second-hand for under £200. So in total, that's a wide lens and a standard lens on a great camera for about £1,600 total, and it all weighs about 1 kilo. While they're definitely not the best lenses of all time, the autofocus could be faster for example, they're not weather sealed, I don't know if they'd survive being dropped. But that said, they are surprisingly sharp wide open, and the 50mm is sharp at f1.8. When you match these two lenses with the autofocus system of the RF, it's just a super fast little system that won't miss anything. Now here's some scenes I caught on the 16mm from around Istanbul, and here's some ones I got on the 50. So far, in terms of quality versus price versus weight, it's the best combination of gear I've taken away with me. Now if you've got something to add or have experience with this kit or different kit, feel free to say so in the comments. More content like this is on the way, so if you're into that stuff, subscribe.